Hello, Dakota. Hopefully my audio is working. Last time I did a stream like this, it wasn't working right. Yep, it's working. Finally got a new controller so I could live stream this game again. I've been waiting like a month or two. It's been too cheap to spend $70-some on a new PlayStation controller. Been spending it all on trains. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I thought the audio was working. I had my screen pulled up on my phone for a second to make sure that it was. Finally reinstalled this game. I didn't have it for a while. I got really frustrated playing this game a while ago, and I ended up deleting it, and I'm back to playing it. I have to restart my railroad, so I just started this map last night. Thought I'd just live stream it tonight. Yeah, Red Oak is done with his streams. Those are really fun to watch. I love watching those, but this game only has so much content that you can make out of it now that it's kind of really hard to do much with it. Once Century of Steam comes out, I'm sure he'll have just an absolute blast making content with that game. We need water, and I just overshot the tower. Oops. I might, I don't know if any viewers have PlayStation, but I would be interested in making an online map of this game with viewers, just so I'm not sitting here by myself playing this solo. But then again, the game is really laggy and buggy in multiplayer, and it's just kind of insufferable. Now we get to sit here for 20 minutes and refill this thing. Oh, hello there, Lord Vader. That's horrible. Those races always have really bad accidents like that. I could never watch NASCAR or anything like that because of those accidents. Is the boiler filling up? I can't tell if this thing's even filling the boiler up. Oh, it is filling the boiler up. It's filling the boiler up. This is excruciating. How long these boilers and the tenders take to refill. I think once the boiler fills up, I'll just fill up the tender at the next stop, because I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes and do nothing. Come on, let's go. Oh. Nope. Still filling up the boiler. Locomotive is low on fuel. Thanks for telling me. Here we go. Here we go. A properly scaled 240 would be sweet. The J.W. Bowker is grossly oversized. That River Rossi made. I think Red Oak mentioned it a few times. And I think it was like, what? S scale? I think it was like S scale is what the River Rossi HO J.W. Bowker turns out being. Okay, I'm going to fill up the rest of this in town. I'm not sitting here for 10 minutes. Take a few extra logs just to be safe. Actually, we're not going to town. We're going to the lumber mill. Get in the firebox. Alright. Yeah, that's awful. Hopefully the driver's alright. Do those Tyco 040s run very well? Because that could work. Those have really small drivers, but I'm not sure on the reliability of those unless you replace the motor. Seems like those old Lifelike ones, those tea kettles, just ran like crap from what I recall. Because they used to have the B&O one with the diamond stack, and it looked pretty decent, but it just was really bad at running. A lot of those older Lifelike models were really crap for the most part. I tried using a Lifelike 460. Hope you have a good evening, Jesse. What was I saying? Oh, the 040. I did buy a Lifelike 460 because that was based on the Walt Disney World or Disneyland, whatever. They have a 460 there, and one of them that they made a set out of. They made a special tooling for it, and I thought, you know, that might look really good for the first Red Dead games 460, or maybe even the Thatcher Perkins for the second one. But the model, once I got it in my hands, it was either Lifelike or Model Power. It was one of the two, and it was just garbage. Like, the motor was so big that the cab was just this really, like, frail, brittle plastic, super thin cab walls around this giant oversized motor, and it was just garbage. The entire mechanism was garbage. The whole thing was just straight up garbage. I just immediately got rid of it when it was the bell. I trimmed the bell still ready. I just got rid of the entire thing and started over with the Tyco 460. I considered a Baldwin 460 by Bachmann. Am I on the right track? I'm on the wrong track. Wait, no, I'm on the right track. I was looking into the Bachmann Baldwin 460, but that was just too modern to use for the Red Dead 2 locomotive. The Sierra 3, once that gets fully customized, Fredo gets it in his hands to do all of his work on it with the drive wheels and upgrades and everything. It's going to look almost, you know, well, not almost exactly like the one from the game, but very, very close. As close as you can get without totally scratch building the entire locomotive, I think. It's going to look very different from the original Sierra 3 that it started as. That's for sure. And the 999 is up next, so I look forward to getting that started. I'm going to have to get an airbrush, start painting that, because I'm not using the old hand brush painting techniques on a brass locomotive like that, so we'll see how I can do with airbrushing that. Yeah, Lifelike. I thought it was Lifelike. The high boiler 460 is really nice. I want to pick one of those up one of these days. I keep telling myself I need to downsize my model railway equipment. I'm trying to keep around 20 locomotives concurrently. I don't want much more than that, just for basic space issues, and also I really don't have a need to have more engines in that, because I can only run so many on the layout at once. It just gets overwhelming as you have more than like 15 or 20 locomotives at once, especially trying to store them all and then rotate through using them all. But if I did get another locomotive in the future, high boiler would be nice, and the new Shay does look nice that Bachmann's making too. Yeah, they made the Lily Bell with their old 440 tooling. There's a listing on eBay for it for like $250 right now with some Carolwood Pacific cars. Nice engine, but I don't have any use for the older tender drive 440s, so I personally wouldn't buy it. Let's move forward. We're going to go tender first back up the hill. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do airbrush on brass. There's no way I'm using I'm not gonna hand brush a brass locomotive. I'm gonna try and get one of those airbrushes that Red Oak reviewed for that. That looks like it did a pretty good job. I'm gonna do some practicing on some other projects before I start work on 999. I'm thinking I'll probably get 999 done by like fall. Yeah, it just gets overwhelming when you have so many locomotives at one point. I had like almost 30 or 40 at one point, and I just kept forgetting. It was the main thing that got really annoying is that I have like this servicing schedule so I can make sure which engines have been cleaned and lubricated and everything. And it just gets really overwhelming when you just have to straight up make lists of your locomotives for servicing schedules. Then there's a ton of them that would just sit there and see no use. I'm like, why did I spend $300 on this model for just sit on my shelf and do nothing? I'm pretty well content with what I have, though. Once I have the 2 Red Dead locomotives finished, and Sierra Railway 28, I really don't see any other engines being necessary. Because I'll have 2 Central Pacific locomotives, and also into the Central Pacific Railroad. I'll have my 2 Sierra Railroad locomotives, 3 and 28. I'll have both Red Dead locomotives. I'm not even going to bother with the Cornwall 460 anymore, I don't think. Just not worth the effort. Unless I do like a basic modification of a Bachmann 460. I don't really care to redo the entire build process of another custom 460 again. Then I have like a bunch of generic Bachmann old-time 460s and stuff like that. I've done pretty well. Happy with what I got. Yeah, this game is really fun. Stewington? I think it's Stewington. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a fun game. It's fun single player and multiplayer. But I will say it's pretty buggy though. If you can get it like on sale or something, I'd recommend it. But depending on its full price currently, I'm not sure if it's totally worth it because of all the bugs and everything. But it is a pretty fun game overall though. It's a good placeholder until we get Century Steam. Stewington? Okay. I didn't know how to pronounce it because I saw an I after the T. You think you can make it? So, I have been working on customizing my Bachmann Jupiter 119, but I don't have any plans to do the Lily Bell or anything like that. I can't imagine it being too hard to take the old shells off the tender drive models and just placing them on the new one. It might need a little bit of work because I did retool them a bit. But I wouldn't think it would be too hard to do that, though. Probably be minimal modifications. My Jupiter and 119 have been pretty fun to work on so far. Tomorrow is my day off of work, so I'm planning to repaint the boiler of the Jupiter tomorrow. I'll see how that comes out without an airbrush, and if it's really bad, I'll just strip the paint off the boiler and start over with an airbrush when I finally get around to that. Roy E. Disney. It's the logo on the company. I've never seen the Roy E. Disney set. I've seen the Lily Bell one, but not the Roy E. Disney. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with my... So that's exactly what I'm doing with my collection. I'm downsizing all my generic models, and I'm keeping my custom ones primarily. That's what I'm prioritizing, are my custom ones and my harder-to-find locomotives. If I have like generic, like Bachmann ones that are easy to find, and I've just been selling them or trading them or, you know, whatnot. Like, I don't have a use for, like, I had like another Alco 2, I have 2 Alco 260s, getting rid of one of them, so I'm just gonna have my Rio Grande one left. I had like a bunch of old Bachmann Spectrum 440s. I only have one left and it's in pieces. I might actually have to buy another one of those. It's the one I have is just shot. But yeah, I got rid of a bunch of my duplicate engines and I got rid of a bunch of the other engines I just don't use anymore. And I've been prioritizing the custom ones. Because the custom ones, I've just been having a blast customizing these engines. The Rio Grande Southern 20 was really fun to work on. The Jupiter and 119 are fun right now. The Red Dead one was a bit of a pain in the neck, but it's been pretty fun overall. What else have I customized? The Rio Grande Mogul, the Elko one, that one was pretty fun. Sierra 3 is pretty fun. Yeah, the Carolwood Pacific stuff is pretty rare. That's probably why it's as expensive as it is on eBay. Oh, we have a runaway. Let's not do that. I don't know how we have a sandstorm in the middle of a forest in the mountains. I don't really see how that makes any much sense, but okay. I was so interested you mentioned the Mantua General. Red Oak and I have been talking about that. He's using two of them. He has two Mantua Generals that I'm paying him that he won at auctions on eBay for. And he is planning... God, that bell is so annoying. He's planning to use the drivers off of those for my Red Dead locomotive. And then after that, I think he's going to try and build the William Mason out of the two remaining 440s and just consolidate their parts, which will be really cool to see if he can make the William Mason out of that. The 042 quarter tank engine. I kind of want one of Bachmann's. Okay, so I keep saying, I already said it like twice in the stream, I'm trying to downsize and not buy locomotives, but every time I see a new locomotive I don't have yet, I just want it. It would be cool to have one of Bachmann's saddle tank locomotives or the Porter locomotive, the 060 side tank locomotive. But I don't really have any plans to do many more custom engines outside of what's already immediately planned. The Red Dead locomotives. I'm finishing up Jupiter and 119. 119 needs a couple more touch-ups, and I'm pretty much going to call it done. The boiler color is close enough to the actual thing to where I'm just going to leave it. The Jupiter, I already said I'm going to try and get that boiler painted tomorrow and see how that turns out with brushing it on by hand. The new Bachmann Shays look really nice. I might pre-order one of those and then call that my last locomotive, but you know, probably won't end up being the last locomotive because I'm always buying new ones. I'll have to look at that book. I remember there used to be this really old Civil War book at the library when I went to school, and I would always get it. It was like Civil War model railroading in HO scale or something, and it was just all 19th century, mid 19th century steam modeling in it. It was just fantastic. I absolutely love 19th century model railroading. I really wish it got more attention from the manufacturers. It's such an overlooked era. I think Bachmann is the only one that's like reliably, continuously making 19th century equipment in HO scale. Athearn has some stuff planned. I think Athearn actually has some Central Pacific stuff coming out and a bunch of old-time stuff coming out next year or so, because it's on pre-order right now. But Bachmann and Athearn, off the top of my head, are the only two manufacturing in HO scale or N scale old-time equipment. It's just sad. I think that if Broadway, I mean, I think their decoders are garbage, but I think the locomotives they produce are very nice looking. If Broadway would just ditch those decoders and make some really nice looking 19th century locomotives, I think they do a really good job with it. Same with Rapido. Rapido, I think, could do a really good job with 19th century stuff too. Oh, Civil War reenacting, I always thought was really cool. I'd love to go out and see the York locomotive in person, and the Leviathan, which I believe I am to understand correctly. The Leviathan isn't the Leviathan anymore. Isn't it like Pennsylvania 331 now? That was like the Lincoln funeral train, I think. Because it's at that one place in Pennsylvania now. It used to travel the country as a Leviathan. Now it's like privately owned by one place. I'd love to see the William Mason run again too, but it sounds like that boiler on that thing is a shot, so I never will run again. Oh yeah, that was weird. That had a lot of potential. I remember seeing that Toy Story 3 train set. I don't know why they didn't include the tender with it. That was really weird. And if they had just put the proper valve gearing on that 440 and given it a tender, it would have come out really good. That would have been a really good, viable HO scale 440. Even though it would technically be 00 scale, but still. A couple of weird decisions on Hornby's part for that. I might have to go and manually turn this dust storm off because it is very annoying. Oh yeah, they have those international style, what are they called? Hoop couplers or something like that. Oh, I also have, I don't know if anyone would be interested in me streaming it. I have the Wonders of Sordor game bought and installed. I might do a stream of that on Thursday, because I also have Thursday off too, so we'll see how that goes. That game was pretty buggy when I first played it a while ago, but from what I understand, it's been patched since then. I think they got rid of some of the bugs that I was having issues with, so we'll see how that. Yeah, there's some nice brass 19th century stuff, but it's getting pretty expensive now, though, because that market is... Well, brass has always been an expensive market, but it's even harder to find those 19th century locomotives. So you see these like little 440s and 260s from that era go for like $300 minimum. However, there's people that are speculating that the brass market will... sometime in the somewhat near future might start to collapse a bit and have cheaper prices, simply because of the prospects of 3D printing and such in the future, that people can just print their own locomotives from that era and the brass models won't be as necessary anymore, especially with the tendency of those older locomotives to have such poor operational qualities to them. You know, they have the older motors and the older open frames and everything. 3D printing, you can really make a lot of stuff that people couldn't even dream of, 50 to 70 years ago when they were making those original brass models. What's the locomotive you picked up that was locomotive driven? Like, what was the basis? Was it like... Was it like the Jupiter 119 brass models that they make, or was it like the William Crooks, or the, you know, there's a ton of them. Yeah, brass prices probably will drop in the future, just because there's going to be less demand for them. Yeah, thanks again for sending me that $9.99. I really appreciated that. That was such a hard engine to find. I saw one on eBay, and I didn't have money at the time to buy the locomotive. And when I finally had the money together for it, somebody ended up buying it right before me. Nightmare. Oh, we have 2 cars now. Yeah, I'll have to check that out when you post that. Oh, and that, I saw that post with the 480, and what was the boiler? I forgot what the boiler was. He had a brass locomotive on that Tyco 480 mechanism. It looked really good. It looked a lot better than the cheap plastic boiler that Tyco Mantua had put on that model. Yeah, Maryland and Pennsylvania 460. That's like, I think that's what Bachmann based theirs on, wasn't it? Wasn't their 460 based on the Maryland and Pennsylvania? Yeah, I thought so. So was, I think their 440s, those Spectrum 440s, were based on prototypes from them too. The Baldwin and the Richmond ones. I think most of Bachmann's locomotives had Eastern Railroad prototypes. For the most part, those Spectrum ones. I'm still shocked nobody ever made Sierra 3 outside of Tyco and that Arbor Models kit. It's really disappointing. You either have this hard to find kit that's like impossible to assemble, or you have the oversized Tyco one that needs a ton of work to get it to run properly because it's not a very good model to begin with. That petition I ended up making for it, I don't even think ever broke 100, which is disappointing. At least hoping for a couple hundred people, so I had something to show Bachmann or Mathern or someone to get interest in having a model made, but that never happened. No, instead we'll get 5,000 big boys from all the manufacturers again, instead of any specifically unique locomotives. No, that's cool. Yeah, it's cool when you have a connection to local railroads like that. The railroad that ran like right down the road from me was the Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad. They were bought out by Pennsylvania in like 1917, 1918, or actually I think Pennsylvania controlled them. They were like a subsidiary of Pennsylvania starting in like 1880 or so, around that time period, and then they just got outright bought out by Pennsylvania in 1917. Then you had New York Central on one side of Michigan and Pennsylvania on the other side of Michigan, fighting each other over dominance in the northern Michigan region. Probably should check on the firebox. We're almost out. Yeah, the Penn Central merger was catastrophic up here. It killed the railroad up here. Once that merger failed, they ripped out the tracks up here. It was really bad. It like decimated our economy for a while until trucking was able to take over. Yeah, we don't speak of Penn Central here. I may or may not have picked the Pine Valley map as well because of Red Oak. I never really played this one. I've usually only played Lake Valley and what's the other one? The one with the desert. Mesa something? Mesa Plains. I've only played Mesa Plains and Lake Valley. I've never really played Pine Valley, so this is kind of a nice change of pace from the other two maps. Oh, and Aurora Falls. The Alaska map is a really nice one too, where it has like half the snowy mountains and then like half the plains. It has like the Aurora Borealis in it. And I forgot this thing has garbage brakes, so there's no air brakes on it yet. Yeah, there's no air compressor on it, so we don't get air brakes. That is a luxury we do not get to afford yet. At least we have knuckle couplers, though. That way we don't have brakemen getting their fingers smashed into oblivion by the Lincoln pin couplers like they used to. The absolute horrors of 19th century railroading. Yeah, oh, it's a 260? I thought it was a 440. Thought I read 440. I must have mixed it up with another comment. I'll have to check that out after the stream. That might work with the IHC Modern 440 because the 999 ended up getting smaller drivers after a couple of years, I think. It wasn't very long that they got rid of those gigantic tall drive wheels in favor of shorter ones so it could do mixed service better. Come on, let's load up, let's go, let's go. Now it's raining. It's gonna be fun. I wonder if rain, I don't know if rain actually affects traction in this game. It'd be interesting to see if I have any issues pulling these cars because of the rain. I haven't played this for a while. Last time I played this, I wanted to pull all my hair out because it kept crashing. Here we go. Go turn the headlight on so people can see. Alright, I'll have to check that out then. I'll check that out after the stream. Actually, I could just check that out right now, I think, on my phone. Let me look at it. Oh, I've seen that Porter 260. It's a really nice locomotive. Yeah, that Porter 260 looks really nice. The General looks really nice. Ooh, that's a nice Columbia locomotive. What is that, Aristocraft? That looks like an Aristocraft 242 Columbia. That was always a really interesting wheel arrangement that never took off here in America. More common out in the UK and Europe, but you didn't really see the Columbia wheelbase here in America much. I think the Atlantic kind of took the Columbia's place here. Going downhill, sounds like. Yep, we're going downhill. I think once we deliver this cargo, I'm probably going to end the stream. I just wanted to do a quick little stream of this game. That would be fun. Haven't done a stream in a while. I might do a model railway running stream tomorrow. I'll have to clean my tracks off and see how that goes. I really want to get Jupiter done tomorrow, so we'll see how I'm doing with time on it. Yeah, the Aristocrat. Ooh, I wanted to look up the 422. That sounds really cool. But the Aristocrat 460, that Rogers 460 is really nice. I have a little G-Scale 242 that Bachmann made in like the 80s and 90s. Their little Columbia. It's in the Union Pacific scheme. It came with their Prairie Flyer set. I need to get a new motor in it because the old one's shot, but it's a really nice swivel engine. You can do really good tight radius curves on it. It's not like their 460 where you kind of need a bit of a better track configuration to run it. We got 2 cars left. Then I'm going to take these empties back up to the logging camp, and that's going to be the end of the stream for tonight. Yeah, the Columbia would be really cool to have sound in. That's a really nice engine. I always like that wheelbase. Like I said, those are really underrated, underutilized wheelbase here in the States. That's a really nice looking locomotive. Have you ever gotten a hold of Red Oak to see if he would do any conversions for you? Because he's done a fantastic job on all the engines I've sent him. I have, I think 3 or 4 more engines that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm going to send him to get done at some point this year. You can either comment and ask him for it, and he'll give you the his email on his channel, or if you want, I can email you his email so you can get a hold of him for any commissions or whatnot. Yeah, he's working on my 999 too. He'll do a good job on it. I'm honestly shocked he hasn't made like a full-time thing out of that, because I think he would be able to do a really good job if he was able to make it into like a full-time thing or something. But then again, I know I certainly would not want to turn model railroading into a full-time job myself, just because I feel like I get overwhelmed and just lose my interest in the hobby, because then it would become actual work having to do that constantly. I get burned out easily. I've done a few commissions before a long time ago, and I just got burned out really quickly doing them. Yeah, he definitely could probably make a video out of that. It is a pretty hard to find locomotive, and you don't really see anybody running those little 242s anywhere. I actually can't even name a single video I've ever seen running one of those before. You usually see like 440s, 460s, 280s. White metal kits. Good luck working on those. Because I heard those are really, really hard to work on those. Especially like the, what was it? Like, I was just talking about Arbor models. The Arbor ones were really hard. But if you master them, I'm sure you can do a really good job with them. Because I saw Darth Santa Fe did a really good job with them on his channel. Yeah, I think that was Darth Santa Fe that you're talking about. Because he did he had the Rogers Sierra 460 and then the Arbor, the Brooks 260. And he said that was a lot of work getting those white metal kits to properly assemble and run and everything. I certainly don't have the skill set to work on the mechanics of model locomotives. I never have, and it's not my interest in the hobby. I like painting the engines and the cars and decaling them. I like painting figures. I like doing scenery and building kits. I don't like doing any of the electronics. I don't like doing any of the wiring. I don't like programming. Not programming. Programming is easy, but like I don't like soldering. I don't like electronics. I don't like messing around with the motors and stuff like that, because it gets so confusing and overwhelming for me. I never have been into that aspect of the hobby, so I've always just outsourced it, which is probably not a good thing for me to outsource it, because then I can't really fix my own models if something ever happens mechanically or electronically, but it's just not my interest in the hobby at all. I like the more like artistic side, I guess you could say, rather than the mechanical and electrical aspect of it. Yeah, I've had motivation issues with my models too. I don't know why, but sometimes I'll start a project and I'll just procrastinate on it in the middle of it. This is what happened with the Red Dead engine. If I wanted to, I could have had that done literally like last winter. But no, I let it sit there and sit there and sit there for months, and I slowly do little projects on it, even though I had the entire winter off this year. I'll just start a project, get it halfway done, and procrastinate on finishing it for months. So I pretty much have to force myself to finish projects now. I don't know why. And then sometimes I get into the hobby and I'll be working on like a bunch of different stuff at once, and then I'll just kind of lose interest for a little bit, work on other hobbies and other stuff, and then I'll swing back into it again. I don't know if that's like ADHD or something, or like something like that, where you just like jump into something and lose interest and jump back into it again, but that's how I am with most stuff with that in the hobby. I should have probably filled up the tender. Oh well. Yeah, that just seems to be a pretty common thing in the hobby. I've talked to a lot of hobbyists, and they say they have burnouts in the hobby too, or they'll get like the amount of people I've talked to that have done the same thing as me. I'll also start like 5 different projects at once and have them all actively on my workbench, and then I'll just drop them, and they'll all just be sitting there in various states of completion or disassembly or whatever. And then eventually I'll finally get around to finishing one of them, and then I'll work on another one. Just chaos. Just absolutely chaotic. When I have so many projects and parts laying around everywhere, and then you get overwhelmed because you're looking at all the projects you've started, like, God, I should have just started one and then finished it, and then, like that. But eventually I get around to finishing them. I still have one project that I have yet to start that I bought like 2 years ago. It's a Virginia and Truckee stock car. I still have to get it out of the box and build it. I've been procrastinating on building it so bad, and I have a Central Pacific coach that I have to build again too. Oh, I have a ton of projects laying around that I really need to get finished. I'm just too lazy to do it. Where's the other car that I can load? Oh, I conveniently parked it so I can't load 2 cars. Yeah, actually, I'd say mine's organized chaos, but it's not, because I have, like, my Red Dead locomotive is, like, in pieces. At the moment, currently, the 460. I have, like, a bunch of the windows laying around in one spot of my room. I have, like, all the drive rods and everything in a box somewhere on the other side of the room that I have to fish out so I can mail them to Red Oak, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks I can get Red Oak all the models out to him that I plan to have him work on, which is Red Dead 460, my Leviathan 440, and I think I'm going to get Sierra 3 I'm going to have him install a new decoder in Sierra 3, Tsunami 2, to replace the WoW sound. And I think that's all the engines. 999 is going to be a later thing. Actually, 999 is going to be the... Oh, no, Sierra 28. I've just mailed Sierra 28 to a feller in California who lives in Tuolumne County, like right next to Railtown 1897. He's taking my brass Sierra Railway number 24 model and rebuilding it into Sierra 28 and giving it sound. So I look forward to seeing that come back. However, that engine, he said, is probably not going to be getting back to me until, like, fall time, because he's, got all sorts of work going on ahead of it. Yeah, that'd be really cool to see him do all 3 of those projects. He's definitely used to working on oddball locomotives and working out the issues that locomotives have and getting them to run reliably and installing all the electronics needed. So I definitely would suggest getting a hold of him if he can. I don't remember where I was going. Oh, I was loading these cars, and I'm gonna... Actually, I might run the engine back empty to the roundhouse and then end the stream, just cause. Yeah, the Sierra 28 is gonna be really fun. The brass Sierra 28 is kind of oversized, like the Tyco Sierra 3, so they're going to look really well together. I kind of want to see if I can get them both speed synced so I can double head 28 and 3 together. So it'd be really cool to have both of those engines running at once. Alright. Oh, howdy there, Oregonian. Joel, I almost forgot your name for a second. Sorry. How are you doing, Joel? Yeah, I've been getting really into the Sierra Railway stuff again. I know I've already said it like 4 times now in the stream. I'm trying to downsize and not buy locomotives for my collection because I have so many as is. But the Sierra 3 I have right now is kind of like how it looks at the moment with the false stack, like the excursion that it ran earlier in March. That's kind of what the engine looks like right now. It looks like that 1929 appearance with the false stack and lamp. I'd like to do another one with the diamond stack on it. I was mentioning this to Red Oak. I might have another one sent to him sometime this year if I can find a cheap Sierra 3 Tyco model on eBay. Of how it looked in the 1970s. I don't know if anybody here ever watched Little House on the Prairie, but Sierra 3 was used pretty heavily in that show. And in the 70s, while it was filming that show, it had a diamond stack, which actually used to belong to Sierra 18, that 280. Anyway, it had that different diamond stack. It's different from the Back to the Future stack that we usually see it with. I want to model it looking like that, and they also had pinstriping on the engine in the 70s, which I think would look really nice, and they painted the pilot red, which will make it look really unique. I was talking to the fella who's working on Sierra 28, and I'm having him paint that locomotive for me to look as Sierra 28 did in the 1970s and 80s as well. So it would be kind of cool if I had a Sierra number 3 from the 1970s and 1980s period as well to go with number 28. Oh, you have a spare number, or you have a spare Tyco 460? Oh, that's cool. How has the Oregon Coast Railway been going? And I definitely understand about the sleep thing. I got garbage sleep the past few nights as well. I don't know if you'd be interested in selling or trading that 460, but I'd certainly be interested in buying or trading that locomotive. We can email about that later after the stream if you'd like, in regards to the Tyco locomotive. So, Joel, I was thinking of doing that with the interchangeable stacks on my current Sierra 3, but the problem would be then it's not really the stacks, it's the liveries. The engine has so many liveries, I could literally, off the top of my head, think of 5 different liveries that I would want to buy for that locomotive. Or not buy, make. I currently have like almost modern look for the locomotive, but it also like the 1990s look with the like red and yellow pinstriping that it had for the movie Unforgiven, and what was the other movie? It did another movie. I think it was called Bad Girls in 1994, and it also had that like red and yellow pinstriping on it right after Back to the Future. I would want to do that as a livery. I'd want to do the 80s, 70s, 80s livery. I'd want to do the Hooterville Cannonball livery, Central Pacific 131 from Back to the Future livery, and what was the other one? I had another one that I was thinking of as well. It might be the Le Bon. Oh no, it wasn't called Le Bon Chance. That was the coach. There's a show called Iron Horse, I think, and that show had a movie before it called Scalp Lock. That would be cool to have as a livery as well. The engine has so many iconic liveries, it's not even funny. But the 70s and 80s one I definitely want. I honestly don't even think I'd letter it for Sierra Railway if I do that, though. I might do it as the Little House livery with, what was it, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Manitoba is what they had that engine lettered as for Little House. Hey there, Crazy Spud. You were just playing this? That's cool. I'm just playing this for the first time in, like, forever now. Oh, the logging camp is full. I literally cannot deliver any more crap. Well, we're going to have to buy some new rolling stock so we can pick up this crap and dump it off in town. But yeah, I haven't played this game in quite a while. This is my first time in ages playing it. I got really frustrated last time with all the bugs in it. Yeah, we'll talk about the trade for that Sierra 3 in the email thread. I might have a locomotive you may be interested in trading Sierra 3 for that's in working condition. I really want to visit the I want to visit California and Oregon and Washington and all the railways that are out there. I was out in Colorado visiting Durango and Silverton this spring. My sister lives out on the West Coast. I'd like to go visit her, and it'd be cool to visit Railtown. It'd be cool to visit Oregon Coast, and it'd be cool to visit California Western. Those would be 3 really cool things. And it'd be cool to visit the California State Railroad Museum, too, if I ever go out west this year again. 25. I'll have to look that up. I didn't know that 25 had a Golden Spike special. A-Team Sierra 3, I forgot it was on there. That's pretty much the same as Little House. I forgot that episode. That's where they had that like weird towers thing that they built on a speeder, and they like went past the engine and cars and like shot the living crap out of those like horse wranglers or something in that episode, using some janky 1890s locomotive for their operation. And they like greased the tracks, and they had like people jumping off the helicopter onto the train. That was a fun episode. I forgot about that one. Be cool if they brought crossplay to this game, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, though. Oh, I have $2,200. I can buy some more cars. Let's buy some. This game's pretty much dead, though. I don't think they're going to do any updates to it. How many cars did I do? Alright, let's do 9. We'll do 9, and we'll order $2,000 worth of cars. That'd be cool to have a cab ride in that. Cab ride in Sierra 3, though, is like, that's what I want to do most in my life. If I ever got a cab ride in a locomotive, Sierra 3. Sierra 3, preferably while it's wearing the movie garb with the false stacking lamp. I would just die if I got a cab ride, or if I got to do like their engineer for a day thing while it's wearing its Western movie gear. I would die. That's like my favorite locomotive ever. It's number 3. Oh, I thought they did cab rides at Railtown. Unless that was a long time ago, because it was like $600 or something. It was like called a crew or engineer for a day or something. And I think they gave you like minimal busy work. Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they still do it. I know before COVID they were doing it, because I wanted to go out there before COVID. Around the time that the Golden Spike 150 thing was going on. I never made it out there, though. But they advertised it anyway. At least I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look it up again, though, just to be sure. Yeah, it was like $400 or $600 or something. It was crazy expensive. And that was like before COVID and inflation. Oh, why am I leaving my stupid cars here? Get back there. Oh, that's cool. And yeah, this is a new save. My old one, I never actually have really played on this map before. Honestly, kind of playing it because Red Oak was on this map, but I always played Lake Valley and the Mesa Plains and the Aurora Falls maps. I never really got into this map, but this is a nice change of pace, so I figured I'd play it. I really wish you could do custom lettering on the engines and cars in this game, but that's like limited to to the PC versions of this game. Yeah, I didn't really care much for COVID. That was god awful. Like the first couple weeks were like, oh, that's cool. I don't have to go out and work or do anything because of the lockdowns. And then after the third week, I was just done with it, and stretched out for a year. Like, oh my god, I want this lockdown to end. We're still not fully recovered from it either. Joel, what locomotive are you mentioning? I saw a brief little glimpse of a locomotive, the comment you left about the locomotive you're referencing, but I can't see it in the chat now. I don't know if it bugged out or something. I think it was SP&S. It was an SP&S locomotive. And yes, this is on console. This is PlayStation 5. I couldn't do streams for a while because my PS5 controller broke and I had to get a new one. Okay, the 484 Northern. That is a really sweet engine. I think I saw you with, what was it? You posted a thing with that Paulson locomotive. That was a really cool engine recently on your page. Yeah, that's sweet. I've never gotten to blow a train whistle before. That'd be sweet to do, though. I probably should check this locomotive's fuel. We're going downhill. Oops. What wheelbase is that engine again? Like a 280, 282, 262? It was something like that. It was like a little logging engine, it looked like, or something. Those little wheelbase locomotives. 282, yeah, I thought so. I thought it was like a little Mikado or something. I think it's really just sucks that HO scale doesn't have any little Mikados or little prairies. The only Mikados you can get ready to run in HO scale that aren't brass are USRA light Mikados, which are massive compared to the average Mikados most railroads and short lines own. I really want to see more short line type of locomotives, branch service locomotives made by manufacturers instead of the heavier stuff. Not enough love for the smaller steam locomotives from the 19th century and turn of the 20th century. Yeah, those Baldwin. I've seen they make little brass Baldwin Mikados, like the California Western one. But it's, not easy to find those, and they are not cheap by any means. This is taking forever to back onto this siding. Come on, let's go. Yeah, they don't really. It would be really nice to see more turn of the century stuff. Athearn has a pretty good starting point for 280s and 260s with those ready to run ones that they make. But those are really generic, and they need a lot of work if you want to turn them into specific prototypes. I feel like you could probably put Walshart's valve gearing on those if you're really advanced in the hobby. To really make those engines look different, you can put different cylinders on them. What am I doing? Oh. Yeah, the British market's a lot better than the American ones. With availability of locomotives from that era anyway. I don't think I'm connected to the industry that... What is the industry that takes lumber inputs? I think that's like the iron ore industry. Is there any iron ore industries that I can build a track to in the area? Let's find out. I think that's iron ore. Yeah, I thought it was iron ore. There's one right here, but I have to build the track from my town, which isn't even outside of the town yet, all the way around here and then loop through. It looks like that's like a mountain pass. I don't even think I can cut through that. Yeah, it is a pain. I'd have to like build my own iron ore industry if I want this to be like a easily accessible thing. So I'd have to run a massive grade all the way over here, and this looks like it's like a mountain boundary. And I don't like how this game doesn't let you like build tunnels if you need to, or like terraform if you need to. You're just kind of stuck with the terrain, and you just have to do whatever. I wonder if you could build a switchback, like a realistic switchback up into these mountains. Because, the Sierra Railway had a really cool switchback. That's why the shorty cars were built for the Sierra Railways, so they could have short trains to navigate the really tight curves and the switchbacks on one of the branches, which is really cool. It'd be kind of cool if I could build a switchback right there. But anyways, yeah, that's like a ridiculously far length just to get to frickin' iron ore if I don't build my own iron ore industry in the area, like over here or something. Yeah, those are the old roundhouse tooling locomotives. Yeah, hopefully the American market will catch up and start focusing on older stuff too. I think manufacturers are starting to figure that out. You have Lionel making these like brass hybrid 440s that look gorgeous. They're just absolutely gorgeous. They look just like the Jupiter and 119 replicas. Then you have Bachmann making the N-scale 460, which I hope they make an HO scale version of that 460, because that engine has been getting super hyped by the entire model railroad community. Every single time I see a Bachmann live stream or post, people are talking about it, and even Matt from Bachmann has acknowledged the mass amount of interest that 460 has been getting. So hopefully that'll translate into HO scale, and we'll get that 460 in HO too. Oh, they had switchbacks on the McLeod River too? That's sweet. Did you go... Oh, I think you actually did post about the bridge. Didn't you see the bridge from Stand By Me when you were visiting into the McLeod River a while ago, Joel? Hey there, Red Oak. How are you doing? Good to see you in the live stream. I figured I'd try this game again because it's been forever since I played it. I quit playing it last time because the bugs were just annoying. It kept crashing on me. Even in single player, I kept having crashes the last time I played this, so I just kind of gave up on it for a while. Figured I'd give the Pine Valley map a spin too, because I never really played it. Looked like a pretty good map for when you were doing your live streams on it, so... see how it goes. Why isn't it loading? Oh, it loaded on the other car. Dumb train. Wow. Yeah, that sounds terrifying. I'm glad that you're all right from the fall because that was like that's a massive drop from that trestle into that river down there. That is terrifying. Yeah, it is super buggy, but I will say, I think it was you, Red Oak, that mentioned it, that this map is really nice because there's like no little rocks or little shrubs or anything that I've noticed so far that like you miss when you're building the track that derail the train. That's like a really nice thing. It's super annoying on like Mesa Plains or Lake Valley when you're laying track and the rocks and the shrubs are like barely hiding under the grades and the tracks, and you just derail a 20-car train because you didn't see a stupid rock on the rails. Like that's realistic. Yeah, it's not that bad on single player on this map so far. Mesa Plains was pretty bad on single player even. Lake Valley wasn't too bad. The Aurora Falls map isn't too bad. Mesa Plains seems to be like the buggiest for me. But my game just kept crashing last time. I don't know why. I kept booting up the game and playing and it just crash. And I just got tired of it. Yeah, that's probably because there's a lot. The larger maps are probably a lot more taxing on consoles and PCs. A lot more to render for it. Takes up a lot more space. I think I'm gonna have to. I don't have any sort of turnaround, do I? I think I'm gonna have to take this train. Oh, there's no way I'm running this train all the way backwards into town. That's not happening. Actually, I guess that is happening because I have no other choice but to run the cars backwards. I can't wait for this thing to stall out going up the grade within 2 seconds because this little 240 is tiny. I can almost guarantee this thing is going to stall out going up grade. Yeah, it's barely even moving now. Yeah, Century of Steam would be really nice to see within the next few years get released in its entirety. I would definitely be willing to buy a computer just to play that game. I don't think there's any plans for it to come to PlayStation, so I would have to buy a computer to play it. I just don't like running trains backwards. Oh, this is why I hate running them backwards. Dang it. It's because I'm always forgetting I have certain switches, and I don't notice it until half the train has ran down the wrong track. Or if I have a derailment and I don't notice it until it's too late, and like the entire train is piled up by the time the locomotive comes to a stop. Alright, get moving. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh yeah, I can do a camera point of view back there. Oops. Well, thanks for everyone for telling me that. I forgot I could do that. That makes this just immensely better now. Alright, now, actually I forgot, can you switch, you can switch tracks from the menu too, right? From the map? Okay, yeah, you can switch. I'll have to remember that too. I haven't played this for a while. No, I just put a stupid, what is this? I did not mean to put that down. There we go, stupid tripod. Stupid tripod spawning. I don't even understand why they put those stupid tripods in the game. I really don't. I haven't seen a single person use those, like, in any playthrough. Yeah, it's the tripods. Like, they measure grades, but nobody uses them. War of the Worlds. Yeah, I remember that movie. Trash Monster War of the Worlds. That movie used to terrify me. The ferry scene from War of the Worlds, like, scarred me for life when I was a kid when I watched that. When I, like, tipped that whole boat of people over. Just poor memory. Oh, I gotta cycle all the way through the car just to get that. I've never read the book. I heard the H.G. But isn't like the H.G. Wells book? I think he wrote that in like the early 1900s. It'd be interesting to see what the book is like from like a Victorian and Edwardian era perspective, especially sci-fi back then with what they had as technology. Hey there, Train Bandit. Alright. Hopefully we get to the town. Oh, 1890s. That's even earlier than I thought. Oh, Red Oak, I did see that email right before I started stream. I was going to email you after I ended the stream about that. I'm certainly interested in that. If you want to sell me those, if you want to sell me those crank pins for the locomotive, I would certainly be interested in those. The old 460 ones are pretty chunky. Are you modifying a 460 right now? Dang it. I wish this thing had air brakes. Oh, okay. Is it one of your current ones? One of the current Westport ones, or did you get a new one? Number 13. Yeah, that engine, you've had that engine featured in a lot of videos. That's not shocking at all. I have a few engines that have some pretty high mileage on them. I'm shocked they're still running myself. Like my Rio Grande Elco 260 has been running continuously since like 2020 or 2021. One of those years, I think. So I bought it sometime around the pandemic. And it's definitely starting to show its age now. It's starting to wear out a bit on me, but it hasn't fully worn out yet, though. Hopefully Bachmann still has a pretty good parts selection for the 260. As far as I'm aware, I think they discontinued the Elco 260. The high boilers are sweet. I really want to get one, even though I keep saying over and over and over like a broken record, I'm trying to downsize my equipment, trying not to buy new engines, but, you know, I keep seeing engines that I want, keep wanting to buy them. Just like a never-ending train addiction. As soon as I, like, think I'm done and I've bought all the models I want, I see, like, 3 more on eBay that are at a good price. I'm like, oh, now I gotta buy them. Oh, I'm on the wrong track. Oops. Yeah, 8 years is a really good lifespan for a locomotive. I don't think any of mine are 8 years, are they? What year is it now? 26? My 119 might be closing in on around 8 years. 7 years. They got it in 2019. So the only engine that comes anywhere close to number 13 of yours is my Bachmann 119, and it's not even the entire Bachmann 119. It's the current 119 I have is using the mechanism from my old 119 that I bought in 2019. Because the new one was like shot out of the box, and I should have just returned it, but I still had the old one, so I just replaced it. I really should have returned that, because it was like $200 some, and like didn't work out of the box. I'm still not happy about that. That number 25 is a really good model. That is a fantastic representation of number 25 in HO scale. It's just crazy that that came out of the Tyco Mantua Prairie kit that they had. Why isn't this car unloading? Get out of there. Oh, Red Oak, Lord Vader, who's in the chat right now, was going to see if he could get commissions from you as well on Aristocraft. What was it? Lord Vader, he had a 242 Columbia from Aristocraft and a Rogers 460 as well. The 242 one is really cool, those Aristocraft ones. We were talking about that earlier. The Columbia is like a wheelbase that you did not really see in the United States at all. That was like a European and UK thing mostly. The Atlantic was kind of like our version of the Columbia that they had over there. It's kind of sad. It's a really nice wheelbase. What am I doing? How much cash do I have on me? $968. I'm going to run this back to the mill. Joel, I've always had that issue with custom locomotives. I sold Lord Vader there, my, what was it, the B&O 440, and the whistle, I tried to put it back in the box for that locomotive. It was a Bachmann 440, and it had like a custom, I put Sierra Railway 3 domes, replaced the old ones on it. This was back when I was going to use it for the Red Dead 440 before I got $9.99 from him. I had put I had mounted the whistle on the fireman side of the steam dome, and it came off like 3 or 4 times, even though I glued it on really good. It kept coming off over and over in the box for some reason. Just so annoying. A lot of my custom models are like pretty fragile, even though I've used pretty good amounts of glue and everything on it. They're always just going to be fragile like that, I think. It sucks, because you got to be really careful handling them. I think my Sierra 3, when I initially sent it to Red Oak, was banged up a bit too. He ended up making like a new insert for the box for it with a bunch of packing stuff, and it ended up arriving in perfect shape. So you could probably make a pretty good custom box for it and have that work out for it for number 25. Yeah, hopefully the engine will make its way back there safe and sound again. Yeah, I haven't really messed around with the packaging of that box. I have to figure out a box to put the Red Dead 460 in, because I was originally going to send the Red Dead 460 in the Sierra 3 box, but now the Sierra 3 is coming back too. I'm going to have to make another custom box for it. I think I have a brass engine box around here somewhere that might work for it. If not, I'll just reuse one of my Bachmann boxes and just hope it doesn't get smashed to pieces on the way there. Oh, Red Oak, while you're in chat, I was going to work on the Jupiter's wood load tomorrow, I think. So I'm going to try and get the Jupiter into a pretty close to finished state by tomorrow, since I have tomorrow off from work. I'm going to get some wood cut up for the locomotive. Do you think I should leave the wood as it is and just glue it in, or do you think that the wood should be stained or something like that, make it look a bit better? 'Cause obviously they didn't, have stained wood as fuel, but I'm not sure how raw wood is just going to look in the tender, though. I've never used an actual wood load in a locomotive before, so this is going to be the first time I've done that with an engine. Oh, and also that stained wood cab technique is fantastic, by the way. Thanks again for making that that video on the wood cab staining. It's a really good technique. I think it looks a lot. I think that really made the Bachmann cab on the 119 look a lot better than what it did. I don't know why they molded the cab color so light on that Bachmann 119. They had a lot of questionable choices that they made on those 440s with their liveries. Kind of odd because they have so many resources at their disposal to make them look more accurate. Yeah, I'll have to try that with the I'll have to do that with the wood load on Jupiter. I'm hoping that the boiler comes out looking good tomorrow. If it does, you'll see a post on it. If the boiler's a failure, then there's going to be no post on it on here. Kind of really hard to replicate Russia iron from what I understand, because it's like a super reflective, like gray color, isn't it? Because a lot of people thought it was like a bluish color initially, and then as more research went into it, it was like just a super reflective, like gray, from what I understand. There's been a lot of debate on Russia iron. I've seen, like, I remember back when I was on Facebook, like, 10 years ago or so, I saw people in that, it was like a there's a pre-1900 model railroading and railroading group, sorry. Ugh. There was a pre-1900 railroading group on Facebook like 10 years ago. I don't know if it's still active. But I remember there was like one post on there in regards to Russia iron, and the entire comment section was tearing itself to shreds, arguing over what Russia iron actually looked like. Yeah, that's basically what I understood of it, that the blue was just a reflection of the sky. But I'm definitely sure that they probably had some hints of other colors in specific batches, and it probably also greatly depended on the manufacturers as well, because as we know, back in those days, that the railway locomotive manufacturers in particular did not have standardized colors or standardized building techniques or, stuff like that. We didn't really get that until the USRA period in 1918, when they were forced to standardize everything because of the war effort. Do I need any more logs over here? We'll do another log run after this, and then I'm going to try and end the stream. Okay, I'll have to take that into consideration when I mix the paint tomorrow for it. I was thinking of doing exactly that, mixing like a dark gray or a light gray with a black almost. I'm going to have to see how that comes out, because I do not have an air spray or an airbrush thing at the moment. I'm going to try to do it by hand and see how it turns out by hand. I'm going to try and thin down some of my gloss paints and see if that'll come out looking right. Hopefully it won't look too bad. I think I have a metallic, gray somewhere around here that might work for it. If it looks horrible, then I can just strip it off pretty easily with some acrylics. Yeah, the Bachmann did a really weird thing with their Russia iron. 119 is straight up like a blue, like an almost darkish blue. And I still don't know why Bachmann did that silver color for the Jupiter, because it looks absolutely nothing like the boiler jacketing that the Jupiter's had since the 90s. I don't know why they never changed it to be like the Leviathan models. They did a just beautiful, beautiful job with the Leviathan. Leviathan looks a lot more accurate. within the Jupiter model. Hopefully they will, at some point, redo the paintwork for the Jupiter in 119 to match the quality of their latest 440 production runs, because their newest 440s just look amazing. But the Jupiter and the 119's liveries are just lacking now with all the inaccuracies on them. And yes, Sheepish Southerner, this is a new save game. I don't think I've really ever played on Pine Valley before. I usually did Lake Valley and Mesa Plains. Vallejo Silver. I'll have to look into Vallejo Silver. I'm using the usual apple barrel paints that I use. I'll have to see how it comes out. I'll do a test on a piece of styrene that I have laying around somewhere and see how, if I can mix the paint up to look right, if I can get a good finish with it. If it doesn't look good, then I probably won't even bother with the boiler if I can get proper paints for it. Yeah, this silver just doesn't look right on the Jupiter. It's just way too bright. It makes it look like a toy. I saw somebody just put like a, what did they do? They put like just like a flat finish on their Bachmann 440s, and it immediately made them look more realistic. So it took that toy-like plastic shine away. And even just doing something as simple as that makes the models look a lot better. But I think once I get the boiler repainted, those will look just tenfold better than how it currently does. That's odd that they never described the color of 999 as active service career. I'm kind of shocked that they wrote down the livery colors of the Jupiter in that one newspaper article when they delivered it in Sacramento. Because, what was it? What did they? I think Ward Kimball painted the original replicas. I don't know if he had anything to do with the 1969 locomotives, the way those were painted, because those were just what I think the Dayton and the Inyo were playing the Jupiter in 119 before the replicas were built. But I know Ward Kimball painted the original Jupiter and 119 replicas in the 70s that the O'Connor Works put out. And then they found out that in that newspaper article, the Jupiter had like that like crimson and dark blue livery because of the Schenectady Locomotive Works based their liveries on like the liveries of the Caledonian Railway back in the UK, which is really cool that they base their liveries on that. But really lucky that we ended up having at least some sort of written down, recorded evidence of what the Jupiter did look like for the most part. When it was delivered brand new from Schenectady in, 1868, I think is when it was built, shipped to California. The MTH 999 is fantastic. If I had the space for O-Scale, I would have absolutely used their 460 and 999 as the Red Dead engines. I actually have somebody that's subscribed to my channel that comments every once in a while. I have to see if I can find him. He has been working on turning one of the 460s into the Red Dead one, and he's been making custom cars for it too, and it just looks great. I'll have to share his posts on that on my channel so people can look at it. Yeah, I know the Inyo definitely was Jupiter at one point. I didn't know that the Reno played it, though. But then again, like you said, the B&T had so many reuses of their engines as the Jupiter in 119 that it wouldn't shock me at all. I just know that the Dayton was one of them at the 1969 one, because like the Dayton has like a really specific like look to it. that you can identify it as being different from the other ones. I think the Dayton was built by the Central Pacific shops, actually, if I remember right, because the rest of them were all Baldwin 440s. I think Dayton was the one that was the Central Pacific shop one. I could be wrong, though, but I'm pretty sure it's Dayton that was built by the Central Pacific company. What was I doing? How much cash do I have? I have $1,600. Is that enough to buy any new engines? We will see. Nope, I need $3,000 for that. We're gonna dump these empties off and do some logging. Or I should check on the boiler too. Fireplace. How do I turn off the... There we go. This is a nice change of pace. Now I feel like a real engineer. The Bachmann 440 would be pretty close to the actual 999 after they shrunk the drivers down to the smaller ones that it wears today. Oh, Red Oak. Have you made any progress on the what was it, the Glenbrook at all lately, or has that been kind of sidetracked with the commissions that you've been working on? I was gonna ask about that in the email later too. So it looked like you were making good progress last time you had mentioned it. I think you had like all the running gear things all sorted out, and the motor issue or the motor thing sorted out too. I have to remember to get those old ornate decals chipped out in that box too. Yeah, that's what I figured. Seems like you had a lot of who was it you were working on? You had a bunch of projects for what's his name, Robert there, going on at once. I think I saw in one of your live streams he mentioned, did he end up sending you like a 460 to have a Vanderbilt tender put on it or something? That'd be interesting to see how that turns out. One of those Rogers 460s with a Vanderbilt tender would be pretty neat. Seen some pretty cool stuff done with those Tyco 460s in general. How does the MDC Vanderbilt tender look with the locomotive? That's pretty neat. I'm assuming he'll probably have a video of that engine on his channel. I'd like to see how that ends up turning out. That's a really interesting combination for a locomotive like that. Is it like the whole thing modernized? Did he modernize it with like a straight stack and a electric headlight, or does he still have like the box headlight on it with the diamond stack and whatnot? Yeah, I've seen some pretty weird engines like that. Like, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know I've seen them. Like, when an engine, like, loses its tender in a wreck or something, they just slap another one on. I've seen instances where that happened before. Like, the Sierra 3's cab is a pretty good example in it of itself. Because that steel cab, I think, came off of, like, a larger Southern Pacific locomotive that replaced the old wooden one that got smashed into bits in that wreck, that rollover. No, that's cool. Yeah, I forgot I sent you those 119 parts too, didn't I? Because I had remnants of my old 119. I think I still actually have some parts of another 119 laying around too, because I ended up using the old stack. I had that. Oh, I remember now. I had that old tender drive one that I did for the ill-fated Golden Spike video. That's on my display track right now. I ended up taking the old stack off. I don't know how Bachmann did this, but the older stack off the old tooling tender drive is more accurate than the current stack that they're using on the new 440. I don't know why they changed the stack. The older one was more accurate, but anyways, I ended up using the older stack on it. It looks a lot better than the newer one. Oh, it's bugged out. Yeah, the old Jupiter one had that wire mesh in it too. I think the older stacks on the models look superior to what we have now. It's a shame that they just did away with them and did the new cheap plastic ones. I don't remember who, but somebody on Facebook a long time ago gave me a really accurate brass Jupiter stack, and I really wish I knew what happened to it. It had like the really fine wire mesh on it, and it had like this, like, I don't even know what it was, but there's like this little component that came off the back of the stack that was there that you don't see on any other models, and I don't know how to describe it, but there's like this like thing that came off the back of the stack that was on the brass stack, and I don't know who made that stack. I can't find any of them on eBay. I don't know who manufactured it. I just wish I had that to use on the current Jupiter model, but I'm probably going to be stuck using the as-is one. They don't have any other suitable balloon stacks for it. Glad that you're getting a lot of use out of those parts. That's really cool that you're getting that much use out of all of it. Because those engines were, or not those engines, those parts were just sitting in my collection for such a long time, collecting dust, doing nothing. Which pilot did you end up using, or are you going to use, I should say? Because I think I sent you, is it the 440, the old-time 440 one? Because I think I sent you one brass pilot that was like meant for like a Jupiter and 119 models or something, or like Virginia and Truckee pilots. I don't remember which. Is that the one you're using, or? Yeah, there's a ton of parts in there. I'm glad that you're getting uses out of them. Oh, I remember that pilot now. Yeah, that came off of I think that came off of 440, some like really generic 440. It's nice seeing you, Lord Vader. I'll send you an email with the locomotive that I'd be willing to trade for Sierra 3 later if you check your emails tomorrow or later tonight, or, you know, because I can definitely get a use out of that Sierra 3 because I really do want to do a 1970s version from Little House on the Prairie at some point. Anyway, so I hope you have a good night. Red Oak, would you mind sending me a photo of how the 440 looks with that new pilot? That sounds pretty interesting. Oh, is it using the is it the what was it, the box headlight, that kerosene headlamp that I sent you? Or was it one of the Lima arc headlights, the round ones? Because I think I sent you both. I sent you like a box kerosene headlight casting and a Lima one. Yeah, that's the electric headlight I sent. That's the same one that I used on the Alco 260, I think. Yeah, it's the Lima one. I think I have one more of those laying around. I kind of wanted to use it on Sierra 3 for a modernized look, but I'm just not going to probably ever model the modern one. If I do another one of those Sierra 3s, it's going to be the 70s version with the taller diamond stack. Yeah, I think I included a couple of those. I bought like 4 of them because I had plans to use them on 2 locomotives for the front and back headlights. Never got around to it. That'd be sweet. Who did that? I don't think... Did I'm butchering it. Thoroughfare Gap Railroad. I don't remember who owned that. He has a YouTube channel. He did like a ton of 19th century stuff. Luke Blackbeard. That was his name. Luke Blackbeard, I think, did like a backdated Bachmann 460 and 440. It was one of the Spectrum engines. And they came out really, really nice. Yeah, Luke Blackbeard. That was going to drive me nuts if I couldn't remember it. Yeah, he did one of those 2 Spectrum locomotives. He backdated it. They look really nice after that. And his layout is gorgeous. It's like Transcontinental era. I think it's like the Transcontinental Railroad, really. Oh, he did both of them? Okay. Those both came out really good when he did those. He did a fantastic job upgrading Jupiter in 119. And I don't know who did it, but there's a YouTube video out like last fall or last summer. And it was called Bettering Your Bachmann 440s. And I've been trying to find this video to use as reference for these custom Jupiter in 119 I've been working on. Hold on, the cat's trying to get in. No, kitty cat. The cat's clawing at my door again. What do you want, kitty cat? Kitty cat. Anyway, I forgot where I was. The cat interrupted me. Oh yeah, somebody did a video on those, and I wanted to credit him for these because, like, I remember watching the videos, and he did a really good job upgrading his Jupiter in 119, and He must have deleted the video or his channel, because I spent a week looking for that video as reference for this, and I just could not find it. But he did a really good job. These Bachmann 440s are really nice once you actually upgrade them. They're really good as a starting point for kit bashing. But anyways, though, him and Luke Blackbeard both did a really good job on upgrading those 440s. Kitty cat, come here. Red Oak sends his best, kitty cat. Her name's Kittles. Come here. You're gonna go back outside, okay? You can't be running around in here. Ooh. Yeah, I saw the 260 he did work on too. That was really cool. It's the Mantua boiler and the Roundhouse 260 wheelbase and frame. I think this might be towards the end of the stream. I'm going to probably load these up, and then the stream's going to be it, because I'm just getting tired. Oh, I forgot I sent you those boilers. Did you see how one of them was, I did one of them up. Those were so primitive. Those were like back when I started the hobby. One of them, I think, was my Back to the Future one. It was like one of the first ones I did, and I used paper. I don't know why. I still cringe over this, but I used printer paper decals for the Back to the Future 131. Hopefully those came off, or those will come off pretty easy for you. I think I used like basic glue on those. That was back before I knew water slide decals and dry transfers were a thing, so yeah. Oh, that's good that they came off easily. That's good that they came off then. They came off in the bag. Yeah, those were, you could tell I was definitely just getting started in the hobby when I did those models. Yeah, they shouldn't be too bad to strip the paint off of those models. I just use basic acrylic for those, so they should come off really easily. Like if you have like, I buy these specific like paint removing brushes at like Dollar Tree or something, or Family Dollar. They kind of have like stiff bristles. They come in a 3-pack. One's like a brass one that would just destroy the model. I don't use that, but the other two are like these like plastic bristles. And they just scrub the paint right off. They do a really good job. Yeah, they're just acrylics. Honestly, they come off with just soap and water too, because I've used soap and water to pretty good effect for removing those acrylics. I don't even think I sealed either one of them with proper sealant either, so it shouldn't even be that bad, hopefully. Oh, rubbing alcohol. I've never used rubbing alcohol to strip paint before. I mean, I know that it works to do that because back when I was a kid, there was a kid in my class who would use rubbing alcohol to like strip the paint off of his Legos for some reason. I don't know why, but we did, and it like took all the printing offline. So I know that it would remove paint and print it on details. But I've never personally used it myself, though. So, oh, the goddess, he had a derailment. Where'd the car go? Did I just lose half of my train on this curve? No? Okay, just uncoupled itself and then recoupled. I'm going to just pretend that didn't happen. I'll have to bear that in mind if I ever try to use that on paints for stripping paints. Who was it? I think it was Blacksland Alex tried using that and like dissolved the plastic on his Bachmann 440 because he did that video on his custom 440 and like broke down the plastic and like destroyed it. But I think that's because he like did it multiple times over and over again before he figured out that it was like damaging the plastic or something. And it was also he was stripping the original paint off as opposed to the as opposed to acrylic paint layers. And also I think you'd probably do you water it down when you use that to strip? Oh, it's never affected plastic for you. Do you water it down to dilute it, or do you just use it straight as is? Oh, it was brake fluid that did that. Okay. Okay, it was brake fluid he was using then. Because I remember he did that video and he was, like, not happy because he, like, destroyed his tender doing that. I'm always kind of scared of using rubbing alcohol anywhere near my models because I know it'll take the paint right off them if I mess up somehow. Yeah, I could see how that would cause issues. Yeah, I use it to clean my track. I'm just really don't like having to use it to clean my engine and car wheels because I'm always afraid that it's going to damage the paint. I'll like splash it somewhere with my luck and get paint all over, or rubbing alcohol somewhere where it shouldn't be, and I'll just like destroy the finish of a model or something. Especially with like these like ornate locomotives, I do not want to accidentally wreck them. Because I'm the type of person that'll be super careful working on it, and then I'd have like one little spill of something like that and just totally destroy the model and just put it up on my shelf and never look at it again. Oh, we have all the logs. I'm too lazy. I'm dumping these out anyway. Come on, dump them out. Okay, we'll dump them out over here. I'm too lazy to do anything else with these cars at this point. Kitty cat, what are you doing? I can hear you in there again. Out in the hallway, what are you doing? I should post the picture of my cat on my model train layout. She looks like a Godzilla on the train layout. Now she's meowing. What do you want? She wants back in. This is probably going to be when I have to end the stream anyway. I think I'll turn the engine around and this is probably going to be the end of the stream. Here we go. Yeah, I just unloaded it off to the side, so I'm too lazy. I could have just, left it a full car and brought it back another time, but I'm just lazy. I just threw away, like $200 worth of logs onto a siding for no reason. Oh well. Somehow I'm out of sand. I don't remember using the sanding. Oh well, I think this is going to be the end of the stream now. It's getting late. It's like 1 a.m. here. And the cat wants back in now. I can't really trust the cat to be unsupervised in here. I'm kind of afraid she's going to jump on the train table and destroy a bunch of stuff or knock stuff off my shelf again. I really don't care to have one of my $200 models getting nuked off the side of my shelf because Cat decided it would be a good idea. Anyways, though, Red Oak, I'll check out that email if you send it to me after this stream of the locomotive, and I'll get back to you on the other one that you sent me. Yeah, they don't mix well at all. Luckily, she usually is well behaved and won't jump on the table or anything by herself, but I still have this feeling if I take my eyes off her for 1 second, she's going to start knocking stuff over anyway. Like, that's just the way it is with cats, so. Oh, there's Shining Wizard. Alright. Time to end the stream. Thanks everyone for watching, though. I think I'm going to try and do a short stream tomorrow of running models. I might have to clean the tracks up before I do that, though. If I can get the Jupiter project wrapped up in time, I'll do a quick little live stream on the layout. If not, I'll try again on Thursday, because I have that day off, too. Anyways, though, thanks for watching, and hope everyone has a good night.